So, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, is dead at 50. Well, what can I say about Michael Jackson? Well, I don't know him that well as much as other classic rock artists or other music that I listen to, but I will say he left an indelible mark on the music industry and how music videos were made. I mean, I remember back in 8th grade when I was exposed to Michael Jackson's Thriller and two other ones, Billie Jean and another one I don't remember. It was before Thriller. Anyway, I remember back in 8th grade when my drama teacher told me Michael Jackson was one of the first to actually use a music video that has a storyline in it. And I'm thinking, that's pretty innovative, because with the Beatles and Rain, it didn't really offer any storyline. It was just the Beatles walking around in a garden. But Michael Jackson with Billie Jean, it was probably the first one that actually had a point and had like a storyline in the music video itself. Anyway, um, what I liked most about Michael Jackson was his charisma and how everyone liked him. I mean, he had like a whole big fan base there. It was like I think him dying. I don't know if it's visceral as John Lennon's death because it also is untimely. I mean, he died at 50. That's a pretty young age, and I mean the world's in influx right now. Everyone's talking about it. Every news station's talking about it. Every website's talking about it. VH1 Classic is going to play his music videos all weekend long, and the world's in turmoil right now. Actually, I mean, but yeah, I mean Michael Jackson. I'm sure he left an indelible impression in the music industry, and I'm sure many people, including today's celebrities and today's music artists, will severely miss him, especially his family, which I mean, he was in like a very big family, and I'm sure his parents and his brothers and sisters are really mourning him at the moment. Um, Even with Michael Jackson's popularity came his legal scuffles with the so-called molestation charges. Here's what I think on it. The 1993 charges of Michael Jackson, I sincerely believe he did something kind of wrong. Why else would a kid come up to them and like tell everyone about this? I mean, I'm not really familiar with the 1993 one as much as the 2005 version, but all I remember from 1993 is he was charged for molesting and stuff, and I'm not really familiar with it, but I think there has been some foul play involved. I don't know how I don't know how big of a caliber it is. I don't know if he did anything, but I think he was probably implicated in some minor things like maybe just acting a little bit weird. 2005, there was like a whole bunch of trumped up charges. I mean, the parents of the kids were insane and all that garbage, and it seemed like I don't know, maybe it seemed like it was a whole fictional story about this. But overall, between the 1993 and 2005 charges, here's what I think. Here is the whole thing for me. With the whole thing about Macaulay Culkin sleeping with him, yeah, that's pretty funny. Home Alone's main character sleeping with Michael Jackson. I mean, not any sexual relations, but the weird thing is, why would you have kids in your own house even if they're not yours? It just seems very, very weird. I'm not going to say that Michael Jackson probably raped them, but I will say that it's very suspicious to have a bunch of kids who have their own parents and who have their own lives to attend to be living in Michael Jackson's house very randomly. I don't know if they really have a reason other than there being fans to live in his house. I sincerely think that it's pretty weird and a little bit like, askew to think of random boys being in a random house with Michael Jackson, who's probably in his 30s or 40s at this point in his life, and is somehow just having kids, housing kids in his house. I won't say he's warehousing like Enron did, but I will say that he's just holding kids in his house, and just I don't know. It's just very weird to me. It just seems very strange. And I also think that aside from him having kids in his house, that Michael Jackson himself is a man-child. He is a kid in his own right. I mean, the spirit of him being a child sort of like shines through more brilliantly than his adult thing, which is not always a good thing. I mean, think of Spax 3. Anyway, Michael Jackson, I mean, I'm going to say that maybe there was involvement that may have left secrecy. Of course, there was that book that the authorities took from him about like with naked pictures of boys in it, which to me is also suspect, but I don't think it was like very sexual, but it's very suspect That's all I'm saying. It's very suspect and strange. So I'm not going to beat about the bush anymore. This is what I'm going to say. Michael Jackson, there was some involvement. Maybe there was involvement in maybe involvement in the kids' lives. I don't think it was sexual, but it was probably to the point where they got turned off by Jackson. And they probably got afraid of him. Maybe um, his regressive 10-year-old status, as a psychiatrist told the parents of about Michael Jackson. I think that maybe his regression to a 10-year-old probably made the kids a little bit unnerved. But I also believe that maybe Michael Jackson didn't do as much damage as everyone suspects that he did. Although he may have impacted some lives, maybe it wasn't all malicious, maybe it was beneficial. But I will not concede that he did not do anything. I will concede that he did something. What that is, I don't even know. God knows. Well, yeah, that's my pretty much the whole thing. Michael Jackson probably defined a whole generation's worth of music either way, even with the jokes that are being flung about. He did back in the 80s before he went crazy with his regression to a 10-year-old status. He did inspire a whole bunch of artists. He did inspire a whole bunch of other artists after Jackson, like how the Beatles inspired a whole bunch of people. Black Sabbath and the Beatles inspired Nirvana. So Michael Jackson inspired today's rap artists and today's other artists like John Mayer and all that stuff. And his mark will be forever respected. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will sorely miss him. Michael Jackson, born 1958, died June 25th, 2009, and the King of Pop, dead at 50. I'm going to say he is the pop equivalent of Elvis. So, like I said before, I don't think it'll be a visceral reaction, but I'm thinking it'll be almost as equivalent as Lennon's death. Not maybe exactly the same, but he did sell a lot of copies of Thriller, and I'm sure that will be not replicated. Mozart can't be replicated. Michael Jackson maybe won't be replicated either at all. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my opinions on Michael Jackson and his death, and that's it. Rest in peace. This is Youngblood Fantasy 92, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time.